Disney Channel's wrong.
I agree with what you guys were saying. And it's like not only do these Disney movies like influence us, it also influences the opinions of our parents. And it's like makes them think that it's okay to believe in these gender stereotypes. Like for me growing up, when I was younger, like every single year for Halloween, I was like a Disney princess. But like this one year I was 4, I wanted to be Robin Hood because I feel like he was more relatable as a character because he's like so determined and strong and he's like so stoic and everything. And it's like I don't want to be Sleeping Beauty, which is what my mother wanted me to be. And it's like she wasn't relatable to me. She had to wait 100 years for a man to come save her. And it's like that's not who I was growing up. And it's like I was different from those princesses. And then it sort of like limits who we are, and like you're unable to sort of express yourself growing up. So yeah.
Yeah. Something I wanted to point out that Doris said was he said masculinity celebrates exclusive company of men, and femininity implies the needing of a man. I think that the point that he made is key because going back to what we're talking about the coat, like in terms of the way you see the coat, you can see the coat as like a varsity jacket, you know. Varsity jackets makes you exclusive, you know, makes you look cool. You're part of this scene, you know. But here, it kind of implies that, saying that like being masculine is like you're part of this like exclusive like social group where everybody recognizes you, and femininity is like you need that social group. And it kind of goes back to what you guys were saying about the Disney movies where females always like portrayed as like the victims, and like the masculine man with this like varsity jacket and like this part of this exclusive group has to come and save the woman, which is like a stereotype that like lives on with kids.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually came from Florida. I lived there for a couple of years. And when in Florida, I seen that every female I seen was so different from me because they had to make sure they had to have their makeup done. They had to make sure they wore something really nice, and it was like a trend to wear tights, and they had to make sure they had that perfect guy, and the guys had to be so cool. Like in the text, like he said, the guys bars and stuff like that. The guys had to be so cool, had to wear the coolest jackets. The girls only wanted to shop at Hollister. If it wasn't expensive, you were less. Like you didn't have money, you were just broke. And they seemed dressed so different. If you shopped at Walmart or if you bought anything that just didn't look like it was like it had
A label.
like a popular name brand, they saw you as less. And the men, if you didn't have a popular name brand, they didn't want you. They just thought of you as ugly and disgusting, and it was just so crazy.
How does that connect to one of the assertions in the Disney assertion? Like, there's, in terms that we can make a really good connection between what Victor just said about from the Thoreau text, from the real world connection to.
Yeah, so it says that Disney movies glorify one particular body type above all others. Chicks have a barrel chest and massive arms. Men with any other body type in Disney movies are generally outcast and subservient. So like that's basically what you were just saying. So like these guys who like are more physically attractive, like whether or not they're jerks or losers stuff, as long as they have that physical attractiveness, then that's like the type of guys that girls chase. And I think that the girls get these ideas from these Disney movies where at the end of the day only the hero who often looks like just like Hercules ends up with the girl.
What other examples did go along with that assertion?
They say that
Like what films? You said Hercules.
Mulan.
With that assertion? Maybe. Beauty and the Beast.
Because in Mulan, the guys, they were trying to like become like, so like the man, so like they had a whole song about like being a man and like trying to find a girl, and they wanted, like it shows like children that men want a woman to please them, to please them like for like how they look, and like to be impressed by like their big muscles and for their cooking, because like it was the fat guy, the skinny guy, and then the short.
And we see like that last question answered, but then even with J.R., are you going to talk about the other example? What is the other film?
For this one,
Mhm.
third one, I was gonna like still talk about Beauty and the Beast because
Yep.
like since the quote is talking about like a character that has like abs and everything is looked up to, and then every other character is like fat and short. And it's like you're an outcast if you're not fit and like attractive. Because like in Beauty and the Beast, Gaston like talks about his body and insults the other man who was short and fat.
But they're best friends. But they're
Yeah.
insulting each other.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you make of that?
I think it was like a message like to say that say basically that like if you're not like physically like attractive, it's like you know how to say it.
Oh, to touch up with, oh, sorry. You sure? To touch up with what you were saying, I feel like a lot of people in movies, like it shows us, like in Disney movies, that fat is not okay. Skinny is okay. When really, it makes no sense. Because you can be big and still, you know what I'm saying? And it's really not what matters in the outside. It matters what you within yourself. So it's what you have, like who you are on the inside. So it makes it seem like they only care about your outside. As Disney portrays that, and that is so bad because then you have kids over here that are really getting sick over watching them, saying, "Oh, I need to be skinny to be perfect. I need to buy this type of makeup. I need to spend my money to look so beautiful. I have to wear a dress. I have to wait to find this handsome prince," when it makes no sense.
Yeah, also, like this relates to like real world situations. Like a lot of people like say like somebody asks you, "Oh, do you like him?" It would be like, "Oh no, he's ugly," but it's like you didn't get to know him first. So it's like they just go off for appearances, and I think that's what Disney movies like emphasize. Like, oh, you can only be with somebody who's physically attractive, and if he's not like physically attractive, then like you shouldn't like even try to get to know them because.
Oh, I wanted to
And just real quick, going back to like Victor pointing out like this company of men, well, is it okay for men in this company they're in company with each other to pick on each other like we saw in Beauty and the Beast with Gaston, like always picking on his best friend for being like shorter than him?
Yeah, it also goes back to what he was saying about like sports being like also like a big part of where the gender roles come from. How like sports is like this club of like guys and like they pick on each other, they could like talk about each other in like different manners, and it's like okay because everybody knows, oh yeah, we're all cool because we're part of this club. But like outside of that, people who are outside of that, you can't do it with them. It's like they're excluded. And, yeah.
I think it goes back to the idea of like locker room talk and like how men are supposed to in society. We look at men like, oh, they're supposed to talk to each other like that. They're supposed to say, oh, I'm better than you, and oh, I'm more fit than you, and I can do this, but you can't do it. I think it's a very crippling mindset because you always have to feel like you need to compare yourself to someone in order to say that you're better or that you can do things that the other person can't.
I'm going to open this up to a couple of assertions from the outside circle. I know Sade has a assertion that she's been waiting for, so we'll just do a quick whip around. If anyone from the outside circle wants to make an assertion, we'll start with Sade. What's your assertion?
So, I don't think that it's only Disney movies. Even though like this is kind of what the topic is, I feel like it's more than that. So I said like in Sex and the City, how normally in like Disney movies they always end up loving each other at the end, but in Sex and the City she would got left at the altar. As a woman, that normally doesn't really happen to people unless it's like really like a mistake. But I feel like not all men are as like willing. I kind of like in those Disney movies where they're forced to like be in love with a princess or something.
Yes, it's a really good point to think that there are more sources than the one we saw. These people who made this visual essay essentially put forth a very convincing argument, but you can make this argument. You can make many arguments to answer these questions using other visual media.
And also, like, I feel like
we're gonna have to. Can we hold that so we can let Daquan make his statement? Thank you. I'm sorry.
Well, a couple years ago, I had this trainer, and he was explaining to me how like he trains like people, but he rather coach girls. He rather coach a girls team than a boys team because he feel like girls is more like it's like less selfish and like they listen more and stuff. And like yeah, I was just trying to say that.
Interesting. Any other thoughts and assertions from the other side of the room? Any final thoughts from the inside circle?
Oh yeah, I have to say one more thing. I was thinking about, I forgot
Sarah,
what
don't
said,
move yet.
but I was thinking about Cinderella because in the movie.
Don't move
Cinderella-
yet. Don't move yet.
Oh.
no, it's not. She said don't move yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You should wait till everyone is like frozen and listening though. All right, go ahead.
Cinderella, because in Cinderella I remember it being a competition, like who's the prettiest girl, who can be with Prince Charming. Yeah, the stepsisters, and I thought was really crazy because it shouldn't be a competition between nobody. No girl should have to worry about going outside, or no male should have to worry about going outside looking better than the next person. Because it's how you look for yourself. You shouldn't have to go look presentable for a prince or a princess. And I feel like Disney movies put that out there. And to go like what Sade said, and the other movies too, and it's with a lot of movies, and it makes people look less of themselves. It makes them look ignorant and closed-minded.
Going back to that, that's really about like if the shoe fits kind of story. Like
Or the coat.
Yeah, or coat fits. Like the shoe really had to fit the like women, and like one of the ladies, Anastasia, I don't know, she had like a bigger foot, and then Gisela, I think that's her name, had like a small like foot, and it's like why like their body kind of like determines whether like their fate. in a
Yep.
way.
Oh, that's really good.
And Cinderella was like perfect because she had like the perfect feet size, so she therefore was the perfect woman for the prince. And stuff. There's
Good
actually
enough.
like a twist to like the Cinderella story. It's about like the happily ever after, like what really happens, and it kind of talks more about like it's more like a reality sense. Like I think one of like the princes die, like just bad things happen. So